Shyam Kumar for joining us. We move on now, and reportedly Hamas has proposed releasing 9 hostages in exchange for a 60-day truce and the release of Palestinian prisoners after ceasefire talks were held in Doha. The talks, mediated by Qatar and the US, started just hours after Israel launched their military offensive in Gaza called Operation Gideon's Chariot. The proposed deal also includes the entry of 400 aid trucks a day and evacuations of medical patients. Israel has demanded proof of life for the hostages. Israel is yet to respond to the proposal. Aid agencies warn Gaza's humanitarian crisis is deepening, with Israel blocking food and medical aid for weeks. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has promised a major escalation to occupy parts of Gaza, push Palestinians south and destroy Hamas. The IDF said that it will keep striking until Hamas is no longer a threat and all of the hostages are freed. Meanwhile, Israeli forces have intensified the bombardment of Gaza, killing at least 78 Palestinians since the early hours of this morning, including 36 people sheltering at the Al-Mawasi tent camp, according to local sources. Staying in the region, the Israeli military has said that it intercepted a missile that was launched from Yemen towards Israel. Sirens were activated across central Israel following the launch of the projectile, according to Israel's local media. A second missile from Yemen was also attempted but failed to launch. Following this, the Ben Gurion International Airport of Israel has reportedly halted landings and takeoffs for now. Meanwhile, the Yemeni rebel group has said that it hit Israel's main airport near Tel Aviv with 2 ballistic missiles in a qualitative military operation. Earlier this month, the ballistic missile launched by the Iran-backed Houthis hit the perimeter of the same airport, damaging a road and a vehicle and causing air traffic to stop for hours. Yemen's Houthis have continued to fire missiles at Israel in what they say is solidarity with Palestinians in Gaza, though they have agreed to halt attacks on US ships in the Red Sea. Israel has carried out strikes in response, including one on May the 6th that damaged Yemen's main airport in Sana'a and killed several people. Moving on now, and imitating India's actions, Pakistan Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has asked former Foreign Minister Bilawal Bhutto Zardari to present the country's case for peace on foreign capitals. Pakistan, facing global criticism following India's Operation Sindoor, which highlighted Islamabad's links to terrorism, is now attempting to restore its image through diplomatic means, in what appears to be a response to India's move of sending 7 multi-party delegations to global capitals. Pakistan has decided to send its own team to advocate for peace on the international stage. Pakistan People's Party chairman Bilawal Bhutto Zardari announced on Saturday that Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif had asked him to lead the delegation amid rising tensions between the two countries. I was contacted earlier today by Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif, who requested that I lead a delegation to present Pakistan's case for peace on the international stage. I am honoured to accept this responsibility and remain committed to serving Pakistan in these challenging times. That was what Zardari wrote on Facebook. The move is seen as Pakistan's effort to counter growing international pressure and salvage its global standing, which has been damaged by repeated allegations of supporting terrorism. Moving over to North America, and a deadly bomb blast rocked Palm Springs, California on Saturday morning, killing 1 and injuring 4 near a fertility clinic. The FBI is calling it an intentional act of terrorism. The explosion hit the parking lots of American reproductive centres, damaging several nearby buildings. Here is how one employee at the fertility clinic described the incident.
And we were, assessing our patients, making sure they're okay. When we heard this loud noise, I shook all of our building. Our patients were scared. We actually thought something had hit our building. And then I heard some shattering, and I came outside to check. It was our building next to us. All of the windows shattered. thankfully we were okay, our patients were okay, and
well, the FBI's Akil Davis said investigators will determine if the attack was domestic or international terrorism. Palm Springs Police Chief Andy Mills confirmed the blast caused widespread destruction and was likely deliberate. Let's listen to Akil Davis from the FBI.
Intentional act of terrorism. As our investigation will unfold, we will determine if it's an international terrorism or domestic terrorism. Let me be clear. This is probably one of the largest bombing investigations that we've had in Southern California. It's on scale of the Aliso Obeo bombing in Orange County.
Authorities have identified a person of interest but are not actively searching for a suspect. The identity of the person killed remains unknown. US Attorney General Pam Bondi called the bombing unforgivable, adding that federal agencies are working to uncover a motive. Despite the damage, the clinic said its lab and reproductive materials remain safe. No staff were injured. California's Governor Gavin Newsom has been briefed and pledged full support for the investigation. Protests have intensified in Libya's capital Tripoli, with around 500 people taking to the streets for a second day on Saturday, demanding Prime Minister Abdul Hamid Dabeba's resignation. This comes just days after deadly clashes between armed groups left at least 8 people dead. Let's listen in to what some of the protesters have had to say.
نحن الليبيين اللي موجودين هنا في الميدان ندفع ايدينا الى السلم والى انهاء هذه الحكومه، سواء الجسم اللي موجود في الغرب او موجود في الشرق. نحن نسعى الى تكوين جسم موحد هدفه يخدم الشعب الليبي اللي موجود في هذه.
فهذه الحكومتين يجب عليهم أن تسقط هذه الحكومتين ليرتاح الشعب الليبي، لأن الفساد كثر أكثر يعني ما تتصور، يعني مش معقولة توصل درجة هي والشعب الليبي يقعد يعاني كل عام أحرف من عام.
In a televised address, Dabeba said eliminating militias is an ongoing project. He warned against corruption and blackmail, saying militias had become too powerful, even controlling banks and abusing civilians. He called on armed groups to align with state institutions or be sidelined. He admitted to a shared mistake over the Tripoli violence and urged tribal leaders to support state efforts to end militia rule. Meanwhile, several ministers have resigned in support of the protesters as the city grapples with political uncertainty.